Okay, today we're gonna pit a full hole eraser made by Henkel's, a German company, versus, oops, nothing happened to the razor, a Sheffield razor. It's a John Shaw Celebrator razor, and this one is what people will call a wedge, and they're slightly different. This razor right here will give you a little bit more feedback. As you're shaving, you will hear the scraping sound. It's easy to know where you are when you're shaving with this, but on the other hand, if you have thick beard, it might be sometimes a little bit hard to shave, because every time that you get to that spot where you have your beard is a little bit denser, it just kind of stops and you have to put a little bit more effort into it. This, on the other hand, because it's so heavy, you just, with a light touch, just even heavy beard just like falls to the side. I don't have that. My beard is not that dense. However, it's real thick. So usually when I'm shaving around my mustache, this will give me better precision, because it's gonna stop right where, right where the mustache is the thickest. So we're gonna do half my face with this, the other half with this, and you're gonna hear the sound. If the camera catches the sound, you're gonna hear the difference between this and this. As far as any other differences, this one feels a little bit more nimble in your hand, even though both of them are full inch razors. You can see they're the same width. This one's a little bit shorter, so it might be a little bit more maneuverable in certain areas. This one's slighter, so it's a little bit easier to move around. The grip, both of them, for my style of grip, this one's a little bit better because I only use my thumb. This one I use my thumb, and there's like a little more space left, so it's up to you. This one has wood scales. This one, has plastic. The weight of the scales is about the same. This one's slightly, they feel a little bit different, because most of the weight on this one, it's right here, because that's a spacer made out of bone, and the screws are way bigger than than the single rivet there, or pin. So let's just get started. As with every shave, both of the razors had already stropped. My brush was was in water for about 20-30 minutes. This is a boar, not a badger. Badger does not hold water that well, compared to badger. So that's why you let it soak. It keeps more water, and it makes the job of making your lather a little bit easier. For the lather, I'm going to be using Speak. I believe that's the way that you pronounce it. Speak, shaving cream. And this is German. It has a lot of, I'm not going to say mint, but it's a lot of an herbal scent to it. It's real strong. Sort of like mint, but not really mint. More like medicine and like tree sap sort of. I like it. And because here in LA water is real hard, I'm going to be using glycerin. This makes, again, the job of making lather a little bit easier. Some people just like to make the lather on their faces. I'm not one of them, because the water here is so hard. It will take me a long time to work the lather on my face. That's the training, don't worry. So first of all, that's the train. faces. As far as amount, you want to use about the same amount that you will use to shave your, to brush your teeth, which is that. Sometimes I use a little bit more, but it's up to you. Usually a dab like that will be sufficient to make a lather for 2 or 3 passes. Now, what are the pros of shaving with a straight razor? Well, a lot of people say that shaving with straight razor is cheaper because you don't have to buy blades so often. But at the end of the day, you end up, it's a hobby, a paraphernalia. So at the end of the day, you end up buying multiple straight razors, and it turns out to be more expensive than just shaving without cartridge razors like the Shake or the Mac 3 or whatever they call it nowadays. For some people, with the right preparation, it reduces razor burn, the bumps, acne might be alleviated a little bit, it's, or it can help people that are like prone to get acne from shaving, the irritation, once you learn to use it, it is good for that. However, it's time consuming. You have to strop the razors. My razors have been previously stropped before I started the video. It is time consuming. Usually even like making the lather, it takes a little bit more time, but it's one of those things that you just feel satisfaction. It's like pampering yourself because to be honest, most of us do like shave because we have to, we want to look good, or or for whatever reason we just don't like to have hairy faces. In my case, if I could grow a full beard, I would, but it takes too long, and like that process in between just kind of it doesn't look good. When your cream or soap is about done, it kind of holds its own. It can form valleys. That's why they call it valleys. See, so now I apply it. Another advantage of not just shaving with a straight razor, but what they call wedge shaving, which is making your lather, that passion is that everything that is tanned has a lot more chemicals. This is a little bit more natural. It's a more natural soap. Doesn't have as many chemicals. It's cleaner on the environment. I mean, if you think all the all the work that it amounts to put something under pressure in that can, the ways that it's created. Well, when you buy something like this, once the tube is empty, it can be recycled like some sort of what toothpaste used to come in, like it was like some sort of a tin or a flexible metal. I don't exactly know what it is. So first go will be the, let's see, we're gonna go with the full hollow razor. And right now you're gonna hear the scraping sound. It might sound uncomfortable, but it's not. And you always want to pull your skin, you want to stretch it. So when you're shaving down and you're putting pressure, slight pressure on the blade, your skin doesn't create bumps or and gets cut, when you're going down. So always, stretch your skin. You don't have to pull it hard. It's just just to create a nice surface for the blade to glide on. Okay, here it goes. Hear that? So no cuts, it's real safe, once you know what you're doing. So now, older style razors, which are wedges, I don't think they make this production anymore. If you want to get a razor like that, you probably have to order a custom made razor. And they're pretty pricey. They're around $400, $500, $600, all the way to $1,000, $1,500. This one I got at an antique store. It was all rusty, so I just had to sand it, hone it myself, and it's now shave ready. And you're gonna see now, compared to the scraping sound of that, this one almost no sound whatsoever. So you stretch your skin. I'm trying to look up for a position that it's easy it's easier for you to guys see. As you can tell, English is not my native language. Neither am I an expert at taking videos, so bear with me. As you notice, my strokes tend to be longer with this razor just because of the weight. Now this is what they call a smiling blade. As you can see, that is not straight. There's a slight curve to it, and that slight curve follows the curve on the spine. That is not straight, that is not straight. It follows the same contour. And on a razor like this, even though there is some spine work, you tell that that's a straight line, that is a straight line. Now the advantage and disadvantage of each. Sometimes for people that already got used to this, they tend to be shorter, so it's easier to maneuver around the face. They're a little bit more forgiving because they don't have a tip, or if they have a tip, because it's, you know, in this, you know, there it has a generous curve to it. It's not as aggressive as, you know, something like this. As although this one is not a good example because this is what they call a Spanish point, and it rounds up a little bit here. There's razors that are fully square here. I prefer this type of razor over this, and I rather have the, you know, a square point because they're easier. It's easy for me to shave certain parts like the sideburns. You can just get like a straight cut, you know, down to the side. And since you already know where the point is, like you already know what you're cutting. On this one you have, you know, a couple millimeters where you don't know if it's cutting or not. But if you're a beginner, sometimes you tend to put a little bit more pressure on that point and you cut yourself, or nick. Oh, you can cut yourself. So one of the hardest parts to shave is the chin, just because he has, you know, a curve here, so, and, you know, especially me because I have big lips, so it's a tighter curve. So in this one you kind of almost start at a 90-degree angle, you know, to your chin, and just kind of scrape, and, you know, as you move your stroke, you want to, you know, get your razor at a 30-degree angle with your face, you know, and you know, sort of you move, you know, to the you change the angle as the curves on your face change. Okay, here you go. So you want to flatten your lip. One of the things that you have to be careful is your lather tends to dry, because I'm talking so much, you know, you dry it out a little bit. So what you do is just put a little bit more water, mix it a little bit more, and when you're shaving with a straight razor, you don't want to, you know, get a close. It's not that you don't want to. Sometimes it's not possible unless you're really, really good at it to get a close shave on the first pass. So what you do, you cut some hair on the first pass, and then the second pass you cut whatever's left. Sometimes if you want to have, you know, real smooth shave, what you do, you do up to 3 passes. I'm going to do only a 2 pass today. So after your first pass is done, you want to rinse your face, whatever stuff, you know, that kind of got hard, and it gets rinsed off of your skin. Now, as you see, there's quite, you know, there's some patches, especially underneath my chin, and some around my lip, you know, this area, because that's, as I mentioned, that's the hardest area to shave. Hopefully, we're getting all done with this pass. So usually, this is the sequence that you will follow. First pass, everything's down, nothing against the grain, down. And second pass, you do across the face. And usually, because I stop with the second pass, on this part right here on my chin, I go against the grain. When you do a third pass, you usually go against the grain everywhere. You just get the last bit of stubble that is there. So my skin is dampened. But again, you pass. So for the third pass, I'm gonna go with a full hole. I'm just gonna do the whole shave with this. It's not that this is better. I'm just more used to this, and I'm used to this. It does usually take a little bit more practice to become good with this. So you know, I haven't shaved that many times with this, so I still need to get used to it, to learn the angles on it, to get used to the weight. And this was my favorite razor, so this one was given to me by my mom, and it is my most expensive razor at $200, which if you're willing to straight razor shaving, that's not going to be anything like, you know, probably in the future, if you have the money, you'll be willing to spend like, I don't know, $500-600 on a razor, $1,000. I know if I had the money, I will do it. So across the face now, across the grain. And I already cut myself. I don't know where, but I did cut myself. And as you see, that's pretty smooth. Your skin. Alright, so right here, when you're shaping your sideburns, and you have when you don't have a smiling blade like this, it is a lot easier to just or a still straight line. We just pull to the side like that. Now this is where this particular style of razor just comes in handy. Again, it's a Spanish point. Barbers not razors can do it as well, but I like how Spanish points work. See, see right there? How it contrasts to my nose? Yeah, that's how it looks. Now let's say that you were shaving with a Mac 3. You wouldn't know where where your actual your first cutting edge is, and it is just kind of confusing with those single blade. It's a lot better. One of the things one of the problems that I had with like the Mac 3s, Mac 5, whatever they are now, is because the blades are so close together. Let me see. I have one right here. This razor has been there for about a year now because I haven't used it. But usually, because the blades are so close to each other, hair will get in there. So with one pass, there will be a lot of hair stuck in there. You will rinse it, and because my beard is kind of coarse, thick, you kind of will have to bang it on the sink, and the head will come off. Hair will still be there, and when you shave again, you kind of still miss like those spots. With straight razor, you don't have that problem. I mean, as long as you become good at shaving with it, and as long as it's sharp, it's, you know, whatever, like where your razor passes, you know, on the second pass, it's like there's nothing left behind. So there it is. You want to stretch because certain areas of the skin, like right there, where the with that corner of your face. Usually, when you shave with those razors, because you don't stretch your skin, that's one of the spots where you have the most problems, because you will be like this. It's kind of like folding something, and just like she's abrading that part. It is hard on your skin. That's why a lot of people get razor burn right just this specific area, because you're only putting pressure at just right here. And when you stretch your skin, you basically have this spot that was here, you pull it up and it's not there anymore. It's in the flatter part of your face. See? You just go down. Now, see? See, you don't hear the scraping that much anymore? It means most of the hair is gone. Like every time that it just passed by, there's not that much hair left, if any at all. Now, you have to be careful with this pass. Usually when you're shaving like this, you want to keep at the blade at an angle of 30 degrees to your face. So if this is your face, I'm going to keep the blade like that. But against the grain, you want to keep the blade. So when you're going like this, you want to 30-degree angle. When you're going against the grain, you want to keep it close. So here we go. Yeah. Now here on the chin, I just don't go against the grain. It is, it could be done, but I am not that good.